What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Domandgon Sports Talk, the show where we not only talk about everything Ravens, but around the NFL. But today, it's definitely Baltimore Ravens time because just recently, the Ravens introduced, or rather, Jesse Minter and the Ravens introduced their new coordinators for this upcoming 2027, no, 6 coaching staff for this team. I'm excited about it. I'm Gonz, that's Dom. So we thought we'd come on here and bring you a little bit of our thoughts and how we felt about the key highlights of what they said in the press conferences. But it's a great day. You know why? Because it's a Friday, and it's a nice and early Friday morning. Not that early. It's about almost 11. Dom, how you doing today? And are you ready to talk about Ravens coordinators?
Doing good, man. It's a new era. It's a new era of Ravens football, and we're here for it. A lot of good things I heard, a lot of things that are interesting to me that I heard from that press conference. So I'm ready to dive in. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, and there's just a couple main components that I would like to cover. I mean, obviously, we don't have to hear the whole thing, but obviously the biggest piece of news coming out of this was, I believe, coming from Declan Doyle. It was exciting to hear him talk. It really was. And he does not seem like he's a super young coach. Well, if you listen to him talk, he sounds like he's been doing this thing for a while, and we know he has. He's been working with key guys like Sean Payton, and it was really exciting to hear him come up and just give an overall viewpoint of what he's expecting. I liked how he talked about the three main pillars for this Baltimore Ravens offense, and those were I forgot what the main ones were, but one of them was explosive, powerful, which is great.
He mentioned toughness, physicality,
yeah, power, physical, whatever, and that implies that the O-line needs to be 10 million times better if you want to be a physical football team, which we were not at all last year. And I can't remember the third one, but the two that really stood out to me were, like we just said, physical and explosive, because I don't think we were either one of those last year. And if we could incorporate that into our offensive philosophy, this would pay off in the long run big time, because explosive plays, if you think about it, what do you need if you want an explosive play? Well, obviously time in the pocket. You need the bounce to develop. You need to be able to step up in a clean pocket and deliver an accurate ball. You can't wait for the routes to develop. You can't throw it accurately if the pocket is murky every other play. So it all starts, honestly, with this offensive line. Okay, and the Ravens have so many things, so many weapons they can use if they can just operate a little bit better, just overall. And the other points that he was talking about, he wants to tailor this to Lamar Jackson. Obviously, not a surprise. All of our coordinators want to do that. But he talked about what Lamar does well. And he was saying things like, you got to defend two different plays when you're defending Lamar Jackson. So if it's first down, you got to defend the play twice, is pretty much what he's saying. You got the one that they call. So you call your play action or whatever you call. And then you've got the improvised play where he can make things happen. And Declan Doyle was stressing that he wants to work on that first play and make sure that can be more successful. So then we're not always playing Lamar ball, which we can if we have to, he acknowledged, but he wants to be more sound in the technique and the execution of play one, the original play call. So then we can just dial in as a unit and really, become a cohesive offense. And I thought that was really interesting to make sure that we don't – I'm glad he emphasized that, because that's something that I was really ranting on about in this offseason while we were looking for a coach, is let's not get an offense that it's a Lamar Jackson, please save us type of thing like we were with the Greg Roman passing game. When the running game wasn't working back in the day, it was a call hike, have 2 or 3 players out there and throw the ball to Mark Andrews, and hopefully you don't get sacked. Oh, and by the way, you might need to avoid 3 sacks in the process. So encouraging things that I've heard from Declan Doyle, honestly. So it was like, okay. And y'all remember on our last live stream, I was a little bit skeptical about this hiring. He's off to a good start. He's saying all the right things, and obviously we got to see what happens on the field. but he's saying the right things, and it's making me a little bit excited. And yeah, I'm excited about that. And then my last point is he wants everyone here for voluntary OTAs. That's what the expectation is. When you're learning a new system, he wants everybody here. He wants as much time as he can to install this new offensive playbook and philosophy within the players. So I thought that speaks volumes too. So we'll see who shows up in April for those voluntary organized team activities. So we'll see. But pretty good things overall for me from Declan Doyle. What about you? How did you feel?
Yeah, I felt like Declan was saying a lot of the right things. Just speaking on, he's talked with Lamar a good amount of times already, although those conversations have been kind of limited, but he's talked to him. He's excited to kind of coach him up and build this offense from the ground up. This will be his first opportunity to truly build an offense from the ground up. This is his first literal play calling opportunity because he didn't call plays last year in Chicago. That was Ben Johnson. So having him here, and he's the same age as Lamar, he said it during the press conference, kind of being the youngest guy in the room kind of helps him connect with the guys a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like he's been there, he's done that. You know what I mean? So I think it's pretty great. He's coming from a place where the offense was pretty electric in Chicago to come here and kind of put his own twist on things. I think it's pretty dope. That he wants to do that. I really love the fact that he wants to hunt explosives. I think he really wants to keen on, like you spoke on, having those on-time plays, right? Because we all see what Lamar can do when the play goes off script and he has to make something out of nothing. He's pretty much a master at that, right? But seeing him be able to throw on time, to be able to hit the receiver on target like he has done in the years past, on a more consistent basis is something that I'm sure Ravens fans will be more excited about because it's less pressure on him. It's less tense on him to just be able to, 1-2s, drop back, hit the open guy. You know what I mean? Just to get that offense moving. We did, like you said, last year, our offense was stagnant a lot of last year. It lacked explosives. It lacked those on-time plays. It kind of lacked consistency throughout last year. And I think now with Declan talking about he wants to be more tough, more physical at the line of scrimmage, especially for this offensive line, it gives me high hopes that he's really going to keen in on that during these offseason workouts. They'll get helping, especially with our new offensive line coach / run game coordinator, which I'm kind of excited to see how that goes and how that partnership works out between the two. I think that establishing toughness in that offensive line is going to have to be a big note going into OTAs, voluntary OTAs, and all that fun stuff. As far as what Declan brings to the table, as far as what Declan brings to the table, as far as his experience, I'm not too worried about that. I think he's learned under a lot of offensive gurus who he can kind of pull from in his young age and really just get to work on his own way of playing Ravens offense. So I'm excited about it. I think Declan is like you said, he was saying a lot of things that I wanted to hear. It sounds like he's going to be holding guys accountable no matter who it is. And we need that. You have to have accountability on all phases of the football. And I think Declan, even in his young age, is going to be holding these guys accountable, whether you're a receiver, offensive lineman, tight end, or probably even Lamar. And I think you kind of need that sternness. You need somebody who's going to tell you, hey, we got to do this better, or hey, you need to do this better, and we need to make sure the team is functioning better. So I'm here for it. I think Declan is great. I'm looking forward to see how him and Lamar collaborate because two guys, same age, chalking it up on offense. I think, and to your point about the OTAs, I think this may finally bring Lamar consistently to OTAs this offseason. I don't see why not, especially having under this new system, like you said. I think it's important that he is here along with the entire offense to kind of just get the ball rolling a little bit earlier. So once everybody is mandatory to come back, it makes it a lot easier to just get things clicking. So, yeah, a shout out to Declan, man. I think he aced that interview. I mean,
they've been in contact. Oh, sorry, I thought you were. Yeah, I agree. And they've been in contact a lot, according to Doyle. They've been talking
Yeah,
over
they
Zoom,
talked.
phone calls, texts, whatever. So they've been in contact pretty frequently. So that's good to see. And we remember the last time the Ravens had a new offense installed, this was Todd Monken back in 2023. I think Lamar was still injured, which is probably why he didn't show up for those OTAs. Or maybe he did. I thought he didn't. I got to check my facts on that. But I do remember he was coming off that knee injury from the year before in 2022, where he missed the end of the season and missed that playoff game against the Bengals. So hopefully now that he's healthier, he does show up for these OTAs, like you said, Dom. So it would be great. It would be great to have all hands on deck just as early as we possibly can, just so we can. I mean, everything's on the table this season, for my opinion. I really think it is still. I mean, you want to try to go give it your all and go get a championship. I still think you have the pieces and you're close. So hopefully this coaching staff will bring us over the hump. And we got a whole free agency and a whole draft so we can improve this roster even more. So there's lots of time. And the other people we heard from Anthony Weaver next. And honestly, it's great to have him back. He knows the place well. He knows the players well. He was in here for a long time, honestly, before. When did he leave? 2020, 2019? I can't remember.
He left after 23.
Oh, he did? He was here that long?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was Minter who probably left that early. Cool. Well, then he was here very recently, so he knows the building even more than I thought. So the one thing that, and again, I'm not gonna sit here and say it was. I'm concerned, but the one thing that kind of made me raise an eyebrow was when he was sitting here praising the roster, praising the pass rush, and I understand. And he did also bring up the Nnamdi Madubuike situation, and we get that. That really that did have a big impact on our pass rush. I get it, but other than that, next man up mentality, the pass rush was awful. I mean, there were certain games where it was just completely non-existent. And I get you got guys on the team that you can work with, younger guys like Mike Green and, Tavius Robinson, who came back at the end of the season last year, and other guys on the roster looming for opportunities. But I think you still need more. I mean, I hope it sounded like Weaver was content with what we got. And it most certainly I'm not, and nobody else should. Eric DeCosta should not. Steve Bisciotti should not. I think we need to go out and get premier guys. I'm sorry. And I know having Madubuike will solve some of the issues, but you need edge rushers. You do. You need to go out and you need to get a Max Crosby, or you need to get somebody that is a proven reliable threat in the pass rush department, in the edge rush department, rather, to come bolster this team. You cannot just keep relying on in-house talent. It's just not working. It's not working. It's not the 2000s. We don't have Terrell Suggs. I mean, we've been having problems. See, remember when Baltimore used to have issues drafting wide receiver? We were in the middle of the 2010s. We were having problems getting receivers. Perriman didn't work out. A couple other guys didn't work out. Tandy Doss was somebody who never really panned out here too, going back to 2012. Marlon Brown had a decent year, but we couldn't find any long-term solutions. Then that sort of started to change when they got Rashad Bateman and Hollywood Brown. Not that they are panning out like the best receivers ever, but they were They were on the team for multiple years. They weren't just here for a year and then gone, or barely or as a backup, or they were actually valid starters on this team for years. So in my opinion, while that sort of shifted where we got better at wide receiver, it got worse in the pass rush department. And you had a couple hits here and there. Nnamdi Madubuike, well, honestly, that's probably the only hit that I would say. And then we've started to resort to what we used to do with wide receivers, and that was go pull a veteran off the street and use him as our premier pass rusher. Now, we had a couple that worked out. Like Clowney was great. Van Noy has been pretty efficient overall, but we have not drafted well in the pass rush department, and we need to change that now. And that doesn't mean continue go and pull an old veteran. You need to go get a superstar pass rusher. F them picks like the Rams did in 21. I don't care what you do. You need to go get one. You got to. I think that is essential for this Ravens team. So when Anthony Weaver says, I like who we have, I hope he's just praising the locker room, and then we have no plans to just do that. We absolutely must need a new pass rusher. That is a stud. I know I talked for a while just to say one easy point, but the buildup was pretty cool. Give me credit.
It was pretty cool. I will lie. Yeah, to your point, man, I don't think that Weaver was – I don't think he is content with what we have. I think that he was just praising the locker room. I mean, he knows these guys.
That's true.
He knows a lot of these guys. You know what I mean? He was around to coach up a good amount of these guys. You know what I mean? So I think it was just kind of praise on his front, just like, showing like, hey, we do got some dogs. I mean, we got him at if we're and I know Ravens fans are praying that Madubuike is okay. I am also still praying that Madubuike is okay. If he can come back this upcoming season, that would be tremendous. But obviously, we don't want him to detriment his health in any other further way. If it's still compromised. So Madubuike, if you're still healing, heal up. Take your time, please. Neck injuries, I don't even want to imagine what that process is like. So please heal up, take your time. But back to my point, I think with what we have, like if you think of a Madubuike, if you think of a Travis Jones, if you think Tavius Robinson has shown flashes that he can be a really good pass rusher in this league. Mike Green, we don't really know what he can be yet under a new system. Like he was drafted into the Zach Orr system, and we don't know if something else could be further unlocked in his game. You know what I mean? So we do have young guys that could probably compete at a high level, but I do agree with you 100%. We need to add more. You know what I mean? Like we have good guys, but we need to add more. We need more dogs on this team. We need guys who can be able to wreck plays, get to the quarterback, and actually have this defensive line feared once again. Now, last year we dealt with a lot of injuries, so it's like some of it you can get a pass, but it's like, dude, we couldn't get to the quarterback at all this season. Like it was really, really bad. Like it was, I don't think any pass rusher on our squad got 5 sacks this season. Like it was that bad. So we definitely need to level up at that position. We have to be able to get to the quarterback. Trenches on both sides of the ball is so important this offseason to acquire and to upgrade, because they were not good on both sides of the ball this past season. But to speak on Weaver, I like this hire. I like having Weaver back. He's not, and I was actually kind of surprised that he took the job at first, because he's not going to be calling the plays, because Minter is going to be calling the plays. But he spoke on the fact that, I mean, and he did get interviews for head coaching jobs. Like he was a head coaching candidate in this past coaching cycle. But like he said it himself, like even though he didn't get a job, like this Ravens job is not a consolation prize. You know, like he was happy to be back here to coach up the guys that he also used to coach a couple of years ago. Like it wasn't too far off. It was only 3 years ago that he was coaching some of these guys on this Ravens D line. And I'm hoping that he could bring back the tenacity and the aggressiveness that we need to bring in the pass rush, and also kind of help bring on some of these young secondary guys like a Malachi Starks and Ardarius Washington, being able to utilize Kyle Hamilton to the best of his ability. I don't want to see Kyle Hamilton playing 6 different positions on the field. I'm glad he can do it. Shout out to him. I love that for him. I'm not saying he can't do it, but brother, I just want to see you maybe play 2. Can we lower the responsibilities just a little bit? I'm perfectly fine with that. It is not me saying that Kyle can't do it. I just don't want him overworking himself every freaking defensive snap. Like, it'd
be nice enough to send 8 to get pressure also. Like,
I would like to see a Baltimore Ravens squad that could get pressure with 4 again. That's just me. Like, I would like to see it. Of course, I want us to be able to blitz. Like, blitzing is important to get to the quarterback, especially on key third downs and things like that. But as far as being able to get pressure with 4, it's highly important. Like, look at what some of these teams are able to do. And I know I keep going back to this game, but Super Bowl, Eagles Chiefs recently. Did they blitz? Like, come on, man. They barely blitz, and they got them at Mahomes like 90 times. You know what I mean? Like, I would like to see us be able to get that kind of pressure on teams. You know what I mean? Like, it's important. It's important. So I liked what a lot of what Weaver had to say. I like the fact that, you know, he's coming back and he's also kind of going to help mentor, shape this defense, like more of a collaboration, but really help shape this defense into what they wanted to be. They wanted to be a tough, aggressive, turnover forcing, key pivotal moment play type of defense. And I'm here for it. I want it. I'm glad that Weaver is back. I mean, he was here when the defense was great in 23. We were a Triple Crown defense in 23. He was a part of that staff to help do that. So I'm here for it. I'm ready for tenacity on defense to be back in Baltimore. We need it in the worst way. Like, in the worst way possible. We need this badly.
And soon.
I'd like soon, not later. We need it now. So, like you said as well, hopefully they can do some things in the draft, in free agency, to help bring in some guys that can help that. There are some names on free agency that are pretty interesting, that can maybe help this roster on the defensive side of the ball and on the offensive line side of the ball. But that'll be another video for another day. But yeah, I'm here for it, Weaver. I mean, bring it. Bring all the toughness, bring all the physicality, bring all the 60 minutes of hell that you can bring, because I am here for it.
Yeah, and that's a good way to close that part. Yeah, we just need the physicality back in Baltimore. We do. And I'm glad Declan Doyle said it, and I'm glad Anthony Weaver was talking about it on the defensive side of the ball. We need it on both sides.
We need it so bad, man.
The Super Bowl window is not closed. We still got Lamar. We still got a lot of people. We still got Zay. We still got a lot of people still on the roster. Now you need to go ahead and make a couple signings this offseason. You need to re-sign some of these guys.
Yeah, it just kind of cement it. You know what I mean? Like, you have pieces that can work. You really just have to cement it just by adding a little more. I'm not saying I need a superstar at every position, right? That's just asking for too much. Like, I'm not about to ask for that. I'm just saying
I wouldn't mind to, honestly.
Well, I mean, of course we wouldn't mind it. Like, I would love it. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, you just need guys that are going to they're going to fulfill their roles and play with toughness and consistency Sunday in, Sunday out. Right? Like, you just need those type of guys. Like, you just need those guys who are going to show up and make those key pivotal plays. And we have some guys on the roster who can do that already. Now, if you could just add some supplemental pieces to really make this team shine, we could be a problem. You know what I mean? And just changing that mentality throughout games, I think we could be an issue. But it really just starts with EDC. And that's why I keep saying, sorry to go off script, I'm sorry to keep saying this, but EDC has a little bit of pressure on him this offseason.
Oh, for sure.
He's gonna have a little bit of pressure because Harbaugh's not here anymore. You know what I mean? Like, Bisciotti has shown, listen, if I have to give some boots out, I'm going to give some boots out. And DaCosta is going to have to really dive into this offseason and really hit on free agency and this draft. Because me personally, in my opinion, Gonz, I don't know if you share the same thoughts, but when it comes to the later rounds of the draft, EDC hasn't really been hitting on those picks. At least his batting average has been a little low in the lower half of the draft, in my opinion. And I know you're not going to get a stud in every single round of the draft. Let me be clear. I'm not saying that you have to hit on every single pick in the later round. That's not what I'm saying.
You need to hit on round 3 or 4.
Yeah, like, I'm just saying, like, dude, and even like you're seeing 5th and 6th round picks making impact plays in these games. They become starters. Some of them become superstars. You know what I mean? Like, my thing is, like, I need to see EDC hit on these later round picks a little bit more. And I need him to actually get in his bag in free agency, whether it's trading or whether it's acquiring players, you know, via just signing. Because like you said, they plugged in a lot of guys. Like we've had a Jadeveon Clowney who was really impactful, right? Van Noy was really impactful when he was here. The Odell Beckham, I mean, Beckham was pretty good when he was here. You know what I mean? There has been some cool signings, but like, dude, you have to hit the nail. You have to hit the nail on the head this free agency, because it's going to be on you, because Bisciotti is running out of patience. He didn't fire Harbaugh for no reason, right? Like, that was his dog. And Harbaugh's been here for almost 20 years, right? Like, You got to hit it. You got to hit on this free agency and this draft. You got to bring in some dogs, like you said, some guys who can actually make impacts on the game and help this roster, because it's going to be on you. It's a new era. It's a new coach. It's going to be on you.
No, Jesse Mander said it in his press conference. The expectation here is to win Super Bowl, so I anticipate that's going to be the expectation this season too. So let's go get it done. Let's go build a roster. Let's go get this championship. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. And we also heard from Anthony Levine, the special teams. Anthony Levine, your co-cap, welcome back. I mean, a huge players guy. I mean, you had guys calling him coming in. I think it was Keandre Jackson calling him on the flight down here, and he came to the conference just to hear him. I mean, another guy who stood out a little bit last year once he was signed. He had a couple moments. He had a great fumble in the Vikings game that he forced and recovered, or I don't know who did it, but he was involved. But that's you can see the kind of impact that Anthony Levine has on these guys and how they will fight for him and how they respect him and have that player to coach relationship that we all love. So it's good to see him back. So congratulations on him. He's earned it. He's really made his name in Baltimore on special teams, honestly. I mean, he had a career in Baltimore on special teams. So that was pretty crazy. So special teams is his thing. He knows what he's doing. He knows exactly the ins and outs on how to be good on special teams because he made his whole damn career on it. So welcome back. He knows the guys well. He knows what he's doing. This is going to be good. I think the special teams, it was not too hot last year. Let's be honest. There was a lot of weird stuff going on. We need to work with Tyler Loop a little bit more on these kicks. And let's we got to limit those out of bounds kicks. We got to make our field goals from longer distance. We got to be more clutch. So I'm excited about it, and he was too. It sounded like so. It was cool. This was a nice little introduction to what we got in the Minter staff now. It was fun to listen to. Hear Doyle, hear Weaver, and Levine. So I'm excited. We're getting closer and closer to free agency. It's now February 20th. We just got a few weeks now before that. Now we really need the Ravens to announce this Lamar's extension because the time is ticking. You got about 3 weeks now before that free agency period begins, and we don't want this looming over our head. We want to be locked in to build this roster that we've been discussing the past few days or past few minutes. So let's get that done. Hopefully they're in talks right now. I know they are. I believe we heard sources that they were in talks about it a week ago or so, but let's get it finalized, and let's do it with a little time to spare too. So we have a little bit of time to prepare. It'd be nice if we could do it by, the end of this week or next week, as opposed to waiting all the way up to March 9th or 10th when free agency is about to start. So let's get it done. Let's knock it out of the way so we can get that cloud off our head, get that monkey off our back, and let's go build a roster. But anyway, you have any final thoughts? I think we're good to go ahead and wrap up.
Yeah, just speaking on CoCap real quick, it's also great to see him get that role. I was kind of excited to see him at the press conference because he seemed really hyped that he was able to get it. He didn't just get it, he earned it. He was assistant special teams coordinator last season under Chris Horton, and he just thanked Horton because he kind of also just put him at the front of the room a lot of the time, so he was allowed to, Horton let his voice be heard too, which is actually pretty dope. So he's not new to this. He's true to this, and he's earned it. Like you said, he's made his name in special teams, made a lot of special teams plays, pivotal plays for us when he was a player. And I just like seeing that story of seeing players just come through the ranks, play their time, come in, and then now be a leader amongst the locker room. So it's pretty dope. Shout out to CoCap for the opportunity. I know he said he's ready to do it. He's not going to take no BS, which is also, I love it. I love that attitude. He's not going to take no BS. He's not going to take no I'm not going to say the word because we're going to put this on the tube, but but he's not going to take a lot of slack, which I love. And you mentioned Tyler Loop a little bit. I'll speak on that really, really quickly. I think it's going to be important to get Tyler Loop's confidence back up after that last game of the season. Obviously, high pressure moment. He missed the kick. It happens. Life happens. I believe we moved on. Maybe some have not. I don't know. I know
This
I
one didn't
moved
hurt
on.
me that much. I really didn't.
I'm about to say, Gonz, I know you have moved on. I mean, it's not that
I
bad.
moved on by Monday morning, my next day, honestly. I didn't expect us to do much with that defense. I really didn't.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I'm not really mad at Luke. Obviously, that night I was mad. Of course I am.
It was sad, and I felt bad for Tyler in the moment.
Yeah, I was mad in the moment because we literally, like, it was 3 great drives by the offense to, like, do something. 3 consecutive great drives, and then it ends like that. So it's just heartbreaking. But I mean, listen, man, Luke is human. He's young. He's going to get better. That it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I'm hoping that Coach Levine can really help Luke get that confidence back, because I know that kick has probably sat with him pretty much all off season. It's going to sit with him until the season starts. I know it for a fact. So like you mentioned, Gonz, it would be nice to see just to help him continue to grow as a kicker, help him, get those long distance kicks down, get the accuracy up, the strength.
And the easy fix to doing that is to bring somebody in training camp. Bring another guy in to give him a competitor.
Make it a little more competitive.
Give him a little bit of extra motivation to get better. Yeah, because that's what they did for Tucker when he started to struggle a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. Like, have him compete. Have him say, like, listen, don't if your confidence is shaking up, earn it back, win the job back. You know what I mean? I don't see why not. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But outside of that, man, I believe you're absolutely right. I think you get the Lamar Jackson extension out of the way as quickly as possible, preferably before March 11th, because I believe that's when the new league year kicks off. That's when free agency hits, and I think that's when his cap hit.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to get that extension done ASAP, no Rocky, and then, be able to get this roster right, so you know what you can add and you know what money you can play around with, because you also have a pending Linderbaum extension that may need to happen sooner than later as well, because I see a lot of teams trying to get the little pause on them, i.e. the Giants and the Chargers. I keep saying, like, oh, Linderbaum can go to the Giants, go back to Harbaugh, or he could go to the other Harbaugh.
No, don't, please stay here.
Staying here in Baltimore. If not, I'm blowing something up. But either way,
Isaiah Likely might be gone, unfortunately.
My fear is that Likely is gone. Unfortunately, that's my fear.
They already paid Andrews.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't know what's going to happen with Kolar either, because he was on a contract year. So, I don't know.
They'll probably bring him back for cheaper, and they'll let.
Yeah, you probably could. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I agree with you. You need to get that Lamar contract extension done ASAP, and then work on that Linderbaum extension, and then worry about where you could kind of put the rest of that money into what resources, and really try to get this roster right for the season. So I agree. Let's notch down on this free agency. The draft is later in the month. I believe it starts April 23rd. So you have more time to plan for that. But let's get these picks. Let's nail down these signings first, and let's go into the season and get ready to compete.
There's a couple other ways they can restructure their cap space as well.
They can restructure the
Marlon Humphrey, for example. Like if they were to move on from him, that would save a couple maybe like about 12 million, I believe, maybe less. I don't know. But point is, they got a lot of moves they can make. They really can. In addition to the Lamar extension, which is the glaring one that they must do. So there's a chance they could increase the cap space by a whole lot more than we think. So we'll just have to see what happens. We'll be back very soon, because we need to come back and predict what free agents we're going to keep and which ones we are not going to keep, and potential ones that we'd love to see in Baltimore. So yeah, we'll be on the lookout for that. This was good to get our thoughts out on the coordinators in their introductory press conference. Get a first look at the Minter staff. I'm excited. I'm ready. Now, I really, really would like to be making a little short on Instagram about a Lamar Jackson signing. So please get it done now, so then we can come back here happily and do our free agency predictions. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. As always, please leave a like and a subscription if you enjoyed, and share with your friends and family if you're Ravens fans or football fans in general and just want to have a good time. We also go live on this channel. We have done live commentaries for the games. We're going to try to do that again this season, maybe a little bit more. I know the schedule was busy last year. We only did it like once or twice. So let's get it. Dom and I are going to work on that in the future as well. So We've got videos, we've got game predictions, we've got live streams, all in the future. We've got a variety of content on here, and we're still here in the off season. So thanks again for joining in. We'll see you later. I'm Gonz. That's Dom, and we'll see you later. Have a great Friday and a great weekend. And as always, go Ravens.